Well, standing on top is always nice, but with the chance to be alone at the peak for a team is even better. The Mariners play today in hopes of gaining sole possession of the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League's Northern Division. Hello, I'm Donovan Mann, the voice of the Grand Lake Mariners, live from Saginaw, Michigan, and Saginaw Valley State University. The baseball diamond out here is the location for today's clash between the Sugar Beets and your Grand Lake Mariners. Yesterday was the first of 4 meetings between these clubs this season. First round went to the Mariners at home by a final score of 7-4. But with the location change, the Sugar Beets will be hoping that friendlier confines of their home field will bring a more favorable result, while the Mariners will be hoping to extend their winning streak to 7, take control of the division, and take a 2-0 lead in the head-to-head matchup against these Sugar Beets. It's Mariners Sugar Beets live here on YouTube. I'll step aside, and when I return, I'll have your starting lineups, the play-by-play. You are listening to Mariners Baseball live on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. I'll return shortly. Go ahead and get you the starting lineups now here for the Grand Lake Mariners. First on the road. Actually, we'll step aside and hold for the national anthem. Be right back. Now I will get you the lineups here after the national anthem. For the Mariners here on the road, it'll be Evan Spry leading off. Playing first base today, shortstop Blake Crossing, switch hitter, will be batting second. Chris Myers, the designated hitter, batting third. Cleanup hitter today will be Jake McCaw, the third baseman. Jaron Lovely out in right field, batting fifth. Batting sixth, Tyson Hayes, the catcher, having a good stretch here in the last 7 days. He is hitting 400 on so far. He's brought his average up high as well. Hayden Cart, the center fielder, steps in at 7. Batting eighth will be Jack Coney, second baseman, and then batting last will be R.J. Williams playing left field. That'll now talk about the starting pitcher for the day for the Sugar Beets. It will be Matthew Blunk. He enters the day as he steps onto the mound. 2-1 on the season. He's got 9 total appearances. This will be his 3rd start and 10th appearance of the year. Man from Ann Arbor, Michigan, attends Lawrence University. He'll be entering his final season there as a business major. On the season, he has a 6.42 ERA with 21 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts, 8 walks, allowing 10 extra base hits. For Lawrence this past season, he had 19 appearances with 2 starts. He was 3-0 in 43 innings pitched. He had 1 save, a 4.19 ERA, and 29 punch-outs. Set that defense now behind him. Out in left field, it'll be Josh Williams. Out in center, Brady Wood. And then out in right field, the right fielder, Michael Westley. On third base will be Daniel Page. It'll be Cooper Marshall at shortstop. At first base, it'll be Ryan Robinette. And then it'll be Noah Marcoux. On first base, doing the catching today will be Adam Proctor, who did the DHing yesterday. Doing the DHing today will be Connor Sharping, who played catching yesterday. Go ahead and get you the starting temperature. As rain is not expected to be a factor here in this one. We get ready to play. Blunk will step on. Mariners will bat first here on the road. It'll be Evan Spry. Game time, it is 83 degrees here in Saginaw, Michigan. The clouds have gone away, just a couple of wisps here and there. Feels like 85 on the index. A western wind about 9 miles per hour. So Spry batting left, a very lefty-heavy matchup going out against the left-handed starter. Strike one, catching the inside of the plate there. 0-1 now the count quickly here to Spry. Spry yesterday, bat fourth. Here is now it is ball one. 1-1 now the count to Spry. Yesterday, Spry, when he bat fourth, he was 1 for 3 and had a RBI, which came off a walk in the 9th inning or the 8th inning. That was initially that was the go-ahead run, and then 2 more runs were scored after that. Here comes the 2-1 pitch outside. Ball 3. 3-1 now here to Spry, trying to draw a leadoff walk or be a leadoff base runner via the hit. We'll see what he gets here on the 3-1 pitch. Right at the knees, strike 2. The count's full now at 3-2. Following Spry will be Blake Crossing, switch hitter, will be batting right against the lefty here. Here comes the pitch to Spry. It is low, ball 4, so he'll draw the leadoff walk. That'll bring up Blake Crossing, again the switch hitter from Dartmouth. So batting right here against the lefty. He'll be a junior biochemistry major this coming season. For college this past season, he has 33 games with 32 starts, hitting .319, which was a second on the team as far as batting average was concerned. Crossing yesterday as he steps in. Check back here to first before the delivery. First delivery to him. It'll be Guess catching the corner there. Strike 1, 0-1. For Crossing yesterday as the leadoff man, he was 2 for 4, had an RBI on his first hit of the game in the 2nd inning. He'll look at strike 2, catching the outside of the plate. Quickly now, he is down in the count, 0-2. Runner on first and Spry. We'll see if they're aggressive with the base runnings here today. They started off aggressive on the season, and now they've kind of cooled off as far as base running is concerned for the Mariners. They did have a couple stolen bases yesterday, and also one reached on an indecision. Crossing will hit this one high into left field, or right field. Coming in and making a sliding catch will be the right fielder, Westley. And that will retire the first batter there. And that was a good running and then sliding catch there. Otherwise, that one could have been down, and that could have easily moved Spry all the way to third. Spry does have some speed. Instead, he has to remain on first as the designated hitter, Chris Myers, steps in. Wearing number 40. Yesterday, Myers also played. He was on third base yesterday. For Myers, he was 2 for 4 yesterday. He was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat back in the 8th. As this will be ball 1 to him. Chris Myers, of course, the man from the University of Toledo. Looks at ball 2 again, 2-0. He steps back in, batting left-handed batter out there again. As always, Mariners very left-handed heavy. This one is hit high. Into foul territory it goes. Running over will be Josh Williams. He cannot get to it in time from his defensive position. So it'll drop safely, but the count will now run to 2-1 with 1 out, runner on first. For Chris Myers at the University of Toledo this past season, in his freshman season, he had 41 total starts, hit .278 with 2 home runs, 18 RBIs. It was a stretch where he reached safely 21 straight games for the Rockets. This one will be to him. He hits this one into left field. It will drop for a base hit. Spry will advance to second. And so the first base hit of the game goes to the Mariners here in the top of the first. It'll be off the bat of Chris Myers with only 1 away, runner on first and runner on second. That'll bring up third baseman Jake McCaw. For Jake McCaw, he played left field yesterday. It was the first time we saw him out in left field. He had 1 running catch that was made sure the coaches knew that if they needed his bat, they could probably put him out in left field again. He looks at the first pitch high inside, ball 1, 1-0 now the count here. To McCaw, again, always wearing number 50 on the season. He was 2 for 4. Or correction, he was 1 for 5 yesterday, but did have a couple RBIs on his one and only base hit. As this one will get through the gap, and they will go ahead and have Spry round home. He stumbled over the bag. The throw will not be in time, and so the Mariners will take a lead here in the top of the first. There'll be an RBI single there for Jake McCaw. The Mariners have a 1-0 lead in the early goings. On the road, Mariners have been really good on the road as of late. Again, they started 0 for 4 on the road, and the most recent road stretch of 8 games, they went 5-3. And definitely, especially against Richmond, their bats really started to heat up. It really kind of started against Hamilton, then in the second game. In the first game, though, they kind of cooled off a little as this one is hit high into left field. Should be an easy and routine play here for Williams, though, as he comes in, makes the catch. Runners will hold. So 1 pitch for the right fielder, Jaron Lovely. And he'll go down on the fly out there. That'll bring up the catcher, Tyson Hayes. Talk about getting hot here in the later goings. And then also against the Richmond Jazz in the second game when he started, he had 2 home runs in that game. Both were 2-run shots. One was to left field, one was to right field. He also had a double in that game as well. His bat caught fire in that game, and he's been hitting well ever since. Again, this is only his 3rd start since then, but a lot of optimism for a man who started kind of slow to start the season. And now 0-1 the count to him as it's called a strike on the low outside corner at the knees. Here comes the gather, check back to second, 2 away. Here comes the 0-1 pitch outside, ball 1, 1-1 the count evens up, 2 outs. Runner on first and second, 1-0. Mariners on top here, thanks to an RBI single from Jake McCaw. Here comes a check back to second by the starting pitcher Blunk. The delivery in, outside at the knees. Catch the corner there, 1-2 now. In the hole is Logan Adams. He's the first right-handed batter that's just a right-handed batter. Again, with the left-handed pitcher Blake Crossing will switch around and bat right, but he, as in Crossing, is this one just a bit outside. 2-2 the count evens up. So Hayes, Crossing, and Cart will all be batting right against this lefty. And then if they bring in a right-handed reliever, we'll see Crossing flip around. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. This one will be popped sky high towards the screen in the back. We'll see if there's a play on it here, and there will not be, by the catcher in Proctor. Count will remain at 2-2 with 2 outs. 2 runners on second and first here in the top of the first inning. Hayes will step back in. He'll gather, check back here to second before the 2-2 delivery. This will be popped foul towards the third base dugout. Count will hold at 2-2. For Hayes, he's a man from Illinois State. His hometown is Aurora, Colorado. As a freshman for Illinois State, he did not make an appearance. So he'll be getting his first play in a while, at least in game action, this summer. And he's done well for the Mariners, especially defensively. It's throwback to first here, and not in time, sliding in safely was McCall. The pitch was low. Count now full at 3-2. If Hayes draws a walk here, the bases will be loaded with 2 outs. That'll give a chance for Hayden Cart to step in, the center fielder for the day. See if he can do something. But now we still have to deal with the full count here. Blunk to Hayes. Here comes the payoff pitch. Runners go. This one's hit high, deep into left, but this should not be a problem for Williams, who runs back and makes the catch. That will retire the side, but not before the Mariners score a run on a total of 2 hits. No errors committed in the inning, and there were 2 left on base. Well, the Mariners hold a 1-0 lead as we only through the top of the first, though. We'll now head to the bottom of the first, and the Sugar Beets due up. We'll see if they can respond. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. So the lineup for the home team Beets will look like this. Brady Wood, Cooper Marshall, batting 1-2. Batting third will be Josh Williams. Noah McCoo will be batting cleanup. Batting fifth will be Connor Charping, designated hitter. Batting sixth, Michael Westley. Batting seventh will be Ryan Robinette, second baseman. The catcher batting eighth, and Adam Proctor. And then the third baseman, Daniel Page, will be bringing up the rear in the 9-hole. On the mound for the Mariners to start the day is Joshua Riggs. He steps in here at the top of the first for Riggs on the season, wearing number 45. He is 1-2. A man from Irons, Michigan. Alma College is where he goes to school. On the season thus far, he has 15 innings pitched. This is his 4th start now. A 5.40 ERA. His biggest Achilles heel has been the long ball. We'll see how that plays out here, because they've got some guys in the Sugar Beets lineup that can really slug it out there. A couple guys with multiple home runs. He's given up 5 home runs and a couple extra base hits as well. He has struck out 9, though, and only walked 1. For Alma College this past season, in the spring, he had 12 starts with 68 and a thirds innings pitched, 3.82 ERA, and punched out 52 batters. So very much he can get guys to swing and miss. He can throw strikes, but that sometimes has been an issue with him, is putting it a little bit too much on the plate and giving them a nice juicy sausage to swing at, and they'll usually knock it out. So that'll bring up Brady Wood now. He will bat right here against the man on the mound, Riggs. For Wood, he enters yesterday's matchup as he hits this line right towards Blake Crossing. Crossing will throw it over. That'll be 6-3 there. And that will retire the first batter on the first pitch. So that'll bring up Cooper Marshall, the shortstop here for the day.
Now batting, the shortstop.
Yesterday, Marshall was also playing shortstop, batted in the 2-hole as well. He was 1 for 3, drew a walk in his first at-bat, then had a single. After that, he grounded into a double play and then struck out swinging. 1 for 3 on the day officially for him yesterday. As this one catching the outside corner at the knees, strike 1, 0-1. Now to the right-handed batter, Cooper Marshall. Cooper Marshall attends Western Michigan University Broncos, and this ball bounced up, actually might have gotten past Hayes, and I believe it actually hit the umpire, knocked his mask off. He is okay. Hayes will make sure he's okay. Count evens up at 1-1. So 1-1 now the count. Check in here by Riggs to get the count. He agrees with the pitch. He'll gather in the glove. Work quickly here on the 1-1 pitch. Outside at the knees. Strike two, 1-2 quickly now the count here to Cooper Marshall. Played for the Broncos this past spring, had 25 appearances, 14 starts, hit 244 with 10 RBIs, and a 370 on base percentage. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Outside, strike three called. 2 up, 2 down. Riggs looks like he's got it here in the early goings in this first inning. Be the first strikeout of the day for the Mariners, and the first strikeout of the day, period. That'll bring up Josh Williams wearing number 0, the left fielder. Yesterday, we saw him make a brilliant running catch into left field, one that could have gotten down and easily scored a couple of runs. He looks at a fastball at the knees, at the corner on the outside, 0-1 quickly to him. Williams yesterday was 1 for 3 as well. The top of the order all had 1 hit as he looks at strike 2 here, swings a little bit, but 0-2 now the count. 2 outs. For Williams, 1 for 3, did have an RBI though on a single that he then reached to second on the throw. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to him. Outside at the corner, low. Strike 3. He'll go down on 3 straight pitches, back-to-back strikeouts, both looking for Riggs. They go in order, so no runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on base. We will now head to the top of the second. Mariners enjoying a 1-0 lead here on the road. The bottom of the order, Hayden Cart, Jack Coney, and R.J. Williams due up for your Mariners. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So it'll be Blunk returning back out. Matthew Blunk will come out for his second inning of work. He's already given up 2 hits and a run in the top of the first. He'll be facing the bottom of the order for the Mariners now. Due up. It'll be Hayden Cart first, the center fielder, Jack Coney, second baseman, and R.J. Williams. After that, Hayden Cart came in defensively yesterday from a call out in left field, made a running catch also, and that one a good catch that held a run off the board. He now steps in. He did not have an at-bat yesterday, though. He'll look at strike 1 here. 0-1 now the count. For Cart, number 44 on the season. Attends the University of Charleston, by the way, from Grove City, Ohio. He'll cut and miss on this one. That has been Cart's Achilles heel, is being just a little bit too aggressive, swinging at pitches he really shouldn't be swinging at. He has a hard time with sliders. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to him outside. Ball 1, 1-2 now the count here quickly to him. For Cart, though, on the season, hitting 192 with a 222 on base percentage. Just 1 extra base hit, 1 RBI. He has stolen 2 bases. As he looks at a ball outside, 2-2 now quickly to him. He tries to work the count. He'll call time now, steps out. That was a quick call on the timeout there, too. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to him. Just missing. Ball 3, and now he's worked the count full, 3-2 to Cart. For Charleston this past season, had 42 appearances with 34 total starts. Here comes the payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4. Cart will draw a leadoff walk for the second straight inning for the Mariners. That'll bring up Jack Coney now, the second baseman stepping in. It's been a while since we've seen Coney play. He's been hitting .083 with a 294 on base percentage. Man out of Ohio University. I will go ahead and look back in my book, see what time last time Jack Coney played. It was against the Jazz, as he looks at strike 1 there. It was against the Jazz. He came in a pinch hitting situation for Blake Crossing in a game that got out of hand quickly for the Mariners, or rather one where they dominated the Jazz. He'll cut and just tap this one back. It'll count, will go 0-2 now to him. So it's been a little bit since we've seen Coney also defensively. I'll have to look even further back in my book. So 1-0, the Mariners lead. Hayden Cart led off with a single. Coney will cut and miss. He'll go down swinging. And that will retire. That'll be the first batter retired. 1 out now, runner on first. That'll bring up R.J. Williams, left fielder. He'll be entering his senior season at Bowling Green State University this next year. For Williams in the last game. He batted 8th, played center field. He was 1 for 3. And this one just goes foul down the third base line. Count goes 0-1. For Williams, his first at-bat was a sacrifice bunt. Then he had a single in the 8th. The sacrifice bunt advanced runners from first and second to second and third. And now he'll get a chance here. See if he looks to bunt in this situation. 0-1 now the count to him with 1 out. Hayden Cart, he will swing. The throw back to first will not be in time. Cart will just get back there in time. The count now 1-1 to him. He checked up on his swing, did not chase the high fastball. He will now step back in. My view for the day, by the way, is pretty much exact opposite of what I have at home at Montgomery Field. I'm on the third base line, right about the same location though as I would be at home, maybe just a little bit farther away. This one catching at the knees there on the corner. On the outside, 1-2 now quickly here to Williams. Williams steps back in again, batting left. The left fielder. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Cart goes. Throw down, strike him out, throw him out. Strike him out, throw him out. Double play works to perfection today for the Sugar Beets, and that will retire the side. So a strikeout swinging there for Williams. Then 2-4. No man left on base, no errors, no runs score on no hits. We will now head to the bottom of the second. Mariners still leading 1-0 here on the road. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. So after the strike him out, throw him out, double play works for the Sugar Beets. We now head to the bottom of the second inning. Mariners still on top, 1-0 though. They've recorded the only 2 hits in this game. And for the Sugar Beets now, they come up after a 1-2-3 inning, including 2 strikeouts, looking for the starting pitcher. Joshua Riggs returns out to the mound, the starting righty. He'll be going up against the 4-5-6 hitter and Noah Marcoux, Connor Charping, and Michael Wesley. Those are the batters due up for the Sugar Beets. Noah Marcoux was the leadoff man yesterday for the Sugar Beets. He went 1 for 4 with a single. He was also hit by a pitch. So the single came in the third and the hit by pitch came in the fifth. Other than that, it was 2 strikeouts and an unassisted ground-out play by the first baseman for him. We'll see what now Marcoux does as he steps in for his first at-bat of the day to face Riggs for the first time this season. Marcoux from Davenport, entering his sophomore season. He's actually a hometown man here in Saginaw, Michigan. Stands at 6'2", bats left. This one will be up and inside. Ball 1, 1-0 now the count here. Riggs will gather and deliver, trying to work some tempo now. This one will catch the high part of the zone there. Count runs even now at 1-1. Tell you what, Riggs gets his sign quickly, and when he goes, he gathers at the letters, brings it down to his waist, and immediately goes into his throwing motion. This one high, missing the zone, 2-1. So oftentimes it's the first sign. Riggs gets these pitches out quickly. He works tempo as this one will be tapped towards the first base dugout. And the host of Mariners, all kind of leaning up against the fence, all look to try to jump over and grab that one. So now 2-2. Nobody out here for the leadoff man. Nora Maku now has an evened up count. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. He'll pop this one high. It'll go shallow right. Coming over will be the second baseman, and he almost doesn't make the catch, but Coney will come up with it. Stumbles backwards as if the catch was a little bit behind him. That'll retire the first pitcher, or the first batter. That will now bring up Connor Sharping, the designated hitter for the day.
Next up for the Sugar Beets.
Again, Sharping played catcher yesterday. He was 1 for 3 yesterday, had a couple of RBIs.
The designated hitter, number 40, Connor
First one was a sacrifice RBI in the third, and then an RBI single, which he then reached to second on the throw in the fifth. He also drove in the last run, the fourth of 4 runs yesterday, as this is ball 1 missing 1-0 for the Sugar Beets, that is. So he did not have too bad of a day. We'll see what he can do here now against Riggs. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. He'll pop this one right over to Coney. Coney will gather it up, throw it over to first. The throw will beat out the run, and that will retire the second batter. 2 up, 2 down. 4-3 there, the play. That'll now bring up Michael Westley, the right fielder. He did not play yesterday.
A sophomore from right here at Saginaw Valley State University.
He actually attends Saginaw Valley State University in his sophomore season. He now steps in. He'll bat right here against the right-handed batter or pitcher. Here comes the pitch to him. He tries to check his swing, but it just makes contact with the bat. So the count will go 0-1 there as that one ends up at the backstop. Riggs will look in for his sign. He'll gather and deliver. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. High, ball 1. 1-1 now the count. 2 outs, nobody on. Mariners lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. I'd like to thank you all for listening here today. It's a little bit warm, but not as warm as it was yesterday. Only in the 80s here today. Yesterday it was in the 90s down in Salina, Ohio. Montgomery Field was a very warm one. Couldn't imagine having to stand on that turf. This one fouled off and backing out of play. 1-2 now the count with 2 outs. Cannot imagine having to stand on that turf out there. And the Saginaw Sugar Beets in their red jerseys here today were in their black road jerseys. This one looked like a check swing attempt, but he ends up fouling it back and out of play. Count holds at 1-2. Sugar Beets in their home reds with white pants. The Mariners are in their road blues with their gray pants, green lettering. It's black lettering for the Sugar Beets. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. High into deep right. Going back, and it carries. And this one, he lost track of it. They will go ahead and send him around second into third. He will get in there safely with a 2-out triple. Wow, that should have been a routine play there for Jaron Lovely, but in the sun, he just lost track of it. He just landed. It wasn't even close to him, though. It landed pretty far out next to him. And now they're going to go ahead and send out one of the pitchers with his sunglasses and say, "Here, you sure you need these?" He says, "Yes." So now it'll be a 2-out triple for Westley. That never should have happened. That'll be Ryan Robinette, the second baseman. He steps in wearing number 27, hitting .283. Did not play in the last game. He hits .283 on the season from Midland, Michigan. 8 RBIs. He has a chance to grab number 9 here in this case. Looks like he might swing, holds up. Doesn't matter. It's called strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. This one tapped, and it'll get past the third baseman in McCall, so that will drive in a run. We are all tied up now at 1-1. An RBI single there for Robinette. I'm going to bring up Adam Proctor,
Now climbing into the batter's box for the Sugar Beets,
the catcher.
From Michigan State, the catcher.
For Adam Proctor, he attends Michigan State, entering his second season there. 33 appearances with 28 starts, hitting .217 with 17 RBIs and a .363 on-base percentage for the Spartans this past season. On the season for the Sugar Beets, he hits .172 with .357, 6 RBIs. He also has a couple stolen bases. He looks at strike 1 there at the knees, 0-1. So we're all tied up now here at 1-1 and 2 hits apiece for each team. We'll see how this one unfolds. Yesterday was a very close game right up until the 8th inning when the Mariners took the lead and were able to hold it off with the save by Tyler Lunicki yesterday. Lunicki did not travel with the team after pitching yesterday, so if there were to be a save opportunity, it would probably be Mackenzie Hicks. Throw back to first. Getting back in time would be Robinette, but it's too early in this ball game to be thinking saves in the 9th inning. We still got many more innings to play, and now 1-1 the score here. It's a 1-1 count. At the knees on the outside corner there, strike two, 1-2 now. Favorable count for the Mariners pitcher in Joshua Riggs. For Proctor, he's got 3 extra base hits, which includes a home run as well in the season. He's only committed 1 error, so for the Sugar Beets, that's pretty good because there's a couple guys on this roster that have committed more than their fair share of errors in the early going of this season. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Runner goes. High fly ball out into center, making chase his cart. Doesn't matter because it will leave the park. And so a shot out to left center. And again, like I said, that has been Riggs' Achilles heel is the long ball. Driving in his 2nd home run on the year, bringing in 2 runs with it. It'll be Adam Proctor. And so the Sugar Beets will take a 3-1 lead. So 3-1 the score now here. Sugar Beets on top. That'll bring up now the 9-hitter, Daniel Page, third baseman for the day.
At Hofstra University, the third baseman, number 15, Daniel
Yesterday, Page was 0 for 4. A couple of flyouts. And then a strikeout as well to his name. Riggs has got to regain control of this one now. Get this batter out and give his guys a chance to get back to work and score some more runs. As it stands, 3-1 is the score. Sugar Beets on top, 1-0 the count. Strike at the knees there. Fastball. Count evens up now at 1-1. Riggs trying to work fast now. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Just missing. Ball 2, 2-1 now the count. 2 outs, nobody on now. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed there. Chased something a little bit low and out of the zone. Count evens up now at 2-2 with 2 outs. Stepping back in is Page, the right-handed pitch batter for Page. As he cuts and misses here, it gets away from Hayes. Hayes will gather it up, throw it down to first. That will complete the strikeout. It'll be the 3rd strikeout of the day for Riggs. Well, the inning ends, but not before the damage is done. It was an RBI single off of Michael Wesley's triple. And then Adam Proctor shot into on the home run. Again, the inning should have been over there on that triple, but Jaron Lovely, looking up into the sun, lost the ball. It fell far away from him, so that allowed the triple to occur. That then set up the 3 runs. 3 runs occurred on on the 3 hits. No errors, no man left on base. We now head to the top of the 3rd. Mariners looking to respond now, down 3-1. We will return here on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Back out here in Saginaw, Michigan, Saginaw Valley State University, Cardinal Field here. The location for the matchup between the Mariners and the Sugar Beets. The Sugar Beets carry a 3-1 lead going into the top of the 3rd. After the Mariners gave up a 3 spot in the bottom of the 2nd, we'll now see what the top of the order for the Mariners can do. Evan Spry, Blake Crossing, and Chris Myers due up to face the starting pitcher, Matthew Blanc. Evan Spry walked his first time up, making him 0 for 0. Improving his on-base percentage, though, as he steps in again, batting left. It's a left-handed pitcher. Here comes the first pitch to him. He'll swing and tip this one back to the screen. He'll go down now 0-1 in the count. Spry again, a man who played well yesterday and is now already drawing a walk in this one. He'll look at a pitch on the outside low, ball 1. 1-1 now, the count evens up. Here comes the next pitch to him. It bounces out on the plate. Count now 2-1 to Spry, the man from Creighton University, the Blue Jays there. His hometown is Janesville, Wisconsin, where he made 12 appearances. Inside at the corner, at the knees. 2-2, the count evens up now. Looks like the umpire has a very good vision of that low part of the plate. This one just missing outside, though. Ball 3, the count now full again to Spry, who drew the walk on a similar count. Here comes the payoff pitch. Hit hard, but right to the left fielder, who just has to take a couple steps back, and Josh Williams. First time today, Evan Spry will be retired. There's one away here. 3-1 the score. Brings up plate crossing switch hitter batting right here against the lefty. He flew out to right his last time up. Man out of Dartmouth College. And he is 0 for 1 in this game thus far. We saw him hit both left and right yesterday as he went up against both lefties and righties. This one at the knees in the corner there. 0-1 now the count. The sample size is certainly larger for crossing as far as batting right or left. This one low and in the shoe area there. Count evens up now at 1-1. Kicked up a lot of dust as it got into the glove of the catcher, Adam Proctor. Here comes the 1-1 pitch now from Blunk. Cut and miss there by crossing. Anyway, the sample size is rather small for him batting right compared to batting left, but so far on the season it appears he bats a little bit better from the left side of the plate, but he wants that advantage of being a righty versus a lefty here. He'll look at one down low, bouncing out in front of the plate. Count evens up now at 2-2. Get a nice block up there by Proctor. Crossing looking to get on board for his first time today. A natural infield here. He'll hit this one hard, but not hard enough and not shallow enough to get down. So it'll be the second out. He will fly out again, I believe, to the right fielder. That'll bring up Chris Myers. He had a single with one out that got Spry onto first base. That eventually set up the RBI single to Jake McCall. But now with 2 outs, designated hitter Chris Myers, 1 for 1 on the day, now steps in. Another left-handed batter for the Mariners. Here comes the first pitch with 2 outs. Low, ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Catch in the zone there, 1-1. After that first inning, it's been rather easy here for Blunk, who gets the favorable call there. Count now 1-2 to Myers. Again, Riggs, after giving up 3 runs in the second inning, will come out. We'll see how he responds. This one chopped foul down the third base left field side and gets out of play towards the batter boxes. Batting cages. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Cut and miss there. Down goes swinging the second strike victim of the day here to the Sugar Beets starting pitcher Blunk. They go down in order for the Mariners. We will now head to the bottom of the third. 3-1, the Sugar Beets leading. We'll see how Joshua Riggs responds now in this third inning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So Riggs returns back out to the mound as he throws his warm-up pitches here to Tyson Hayes, Brady Wood, Cooper Marshall, and Josh Williams all due up. They're all 0 for 1 on the day. In the first inning, they went 1-2-3. We'll see if Riggs can get a similar result as number 11, Wood, steps in, grounded out to short his last time up. It was on the first pitch as well. Again, we are 3-1 now after an RBI single off of a triple. It was an RBI single after a triple, and then a 2-run shot that drove in both Robinette, and then Proctor, of course, drove himself in on the 2-run blast to right center. That is how we got to 3-1. Mariners scoring their only run off the bat of Jake McCall. Here comes the first pitch to Wood. He shows bunt, pulls it back, doesn't matter. It's called a strike anyway. 1-0. It's funny, when he showed bunt, he kind of took a step forward too. Wood stands very deep in that right-handed batter's box. His foot is practically outside of the box, his back foot anyway. This is ball 1, 1-1. And again, that was something I observed yesterday too. So when he showed bunt, he took a step forward almost. Here comes a 1-1 pitch now from Riggs. He'll swing through this one and pops it just a little bit back, just barely getting his bat to it. And we'll get out of play. Count now goes 1-2 to him. Again, 3 strikeouts on the day for Riggs, including the most recent was again to Page, Daniel Page, the bottom of the order, to retire the side in the second. Riggs will step on now. Wood called timeout. He'll step back in. 1-2 now the count. Here to the leadoff man. Here comes the pitch. Popped high, back, and out of play. Count remains at 1-2. Riggs gathers, and here comes the 1-2 pitch. This one hit foul past right field. Gets down in the Mariners bullpen, which is in play. Both bullpens in play here, as they are in most places. I believe Lima was the only place that they weren't in play. This one, strike 3 called. And that will be the 3rd time the strike 3 has been called. Some Saginaw fans not happy about that one. Goodness, this is the first time I've heard obscenities yelled from a crowd that loud in the Great Lakes Summer League. They take their baseball very seriously in the inaugural season. Strike 1 catches the knees there on the outside part of the zone. 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch with 1 out. Popped high. Looks like it'll stay in the infield. It'll be Spry, the first baseman, coming underneath it in foul territory. That one hung up there for a while. Spry not wearing sunglasses, but he does make the catch, unlike Jaron Lovely, who completely lost it out there in right field on the triple in the last inning. So that'll bring up now Josh Williams, the left fielder. He struck out looking his last time up. He was the second of now 4 strikeout victims to Josh Riggs. He's 0 for 1. He steps in. Man with a lot of speed. We saw that yesterday when he stole a base. He shows bunt, pulls it back because it's low and inside. Ball 1, 1-0 now the count. Riggs waves off the first pitch. The second one quickly goes. This one a good hit, and this one will just get down fair past R.J. Williams. So Josh Williams will head to second standing easily. They'll hold him up there as he rounded the bag, but they'll them to back off and stay on second. So it's a 2-out single, or 2-out double, correction. And a 2-out extra base hit was what hurt the Mariners back in the second one. That set up eventually 3 runs were scored after that. So with 2 outs, runner on second and in scoring position. That'll bring up left-handed batter Noah Marcoux. 0 for 1, popped out to the second baseman his last time up. Riggs will check back to second. Again, Williams can't steal. Hayes the better defensive catcher, though, of the 2 for the Mariners. We'll see how this battle fares out, because Williams has some speed on the bases. We saw it yesterday. He had a couple stolen bases. This one is thrown past, and Marcoux swings. 0-1. Riggs checks back to second before delivering the 0-1 pitch. Runner does not go. High. Ball 1. 1-1 now the count. Almost if the plan is here, don't give him anything low to run on for Williams. And you see if you can't get Marcoux to chase. 1-1 now the count with 2 outs. Runner on second. Here comes the pitch. This one is popped back out of play. Count goes now to 1-2. Three to 1 the score. Mariners trailing early here on the road. They've trailed early in the past few games, but they've always come back to win. That includes the explosion in the 9th inning against the Settlers on Thursday, as this one missing 2-2. The count evens up. Where they entered that bottom of the 9th inning down 8-1. They came back to win that game 9-8, and one of the biggest comebacks in Mariners history. Probably actually the biggest comeback to the books. 2-2, and timeout called here now by Marcoux. Batting left, Riggs, the right-handed pitcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second. Here in the bottom of the 3rd. Pitch is high. Count now runs full at 3-2. Williams has stayed put, but we got to imagine with 2 outs now, 3-2 the count. They'll send him here on this pitch. He does not go. This one tapped right over to Spry. Cannot make the play. Backed up there nicely by Coney. Riggs is covering on first base. That will retire the side. That one got past Spry's glove, but Coney backed it up nicely. Throws it over to Riggs, who was covering at first. No runs scored on the 1 hit. No errors. The 1 man was left on base. Mariners trailing 3-1 as we now head to the top of the 4th. We see if they can respond. Due up for the Mariners. It will be Jake McCall, Jaron Lovely, and Tyson Hayes. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. So Matthew Blunk, wearing number 10 for the Sugar Beets in his red jersey, will come out now for his 4th inning of work. We head to the top of the 4th. It'll be Jake McCall, Jaron Lovely, and Tyson Hayes, a.k.a. 4, 5, 6 hitters for the Mariners stepping in. McCall is 1 for 1 on the day with an RBI single back in the 1st. He drove in the Mariners' only 1 run as they trail 3-1. They only have 2 hits. Thus far, we'll see what McCall can do. He bats left here against the lefty.
For the Mariners, the 3rd baseman, number 50, Jake McCall.
Got to try to drive the lefty out of the game here because it's a very lefty-heavy lineup for the Mariners, as always. So when they go up against left-handed pitchers, it's been somewhat of a concern. They still got guys as the first pitch is called a strike here. 0-1 now, 0-2 as McCall cuts through that one. Count now goes to 0-2 quickly here to McCall. He's down in the hole. See if he can work the count now and try to get aboard. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. High, ball 1. 1-2 now the count. McCall just looks at it and lets it go. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Blunk trying to work some tempo now. This one will miss a little bit high and outside. Ball 2. 2-2 now the count evens up. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Cut through here and tapped back. Just getting a little bit of a piece of that one to stay alive. Count now 2-2. To the leadoff hitter in this inning, Jake McCall, who's batting cleanup in this lineup. So 2-2 pitch. Blunk slows it down, now delivers. Hit high, but not very deep. Won't even leave the infield. Shortstop Marshall will make the catch, and that will retire McCall for the first time today. That'll bring up now Jaron Lovely. Flew out to right his last time up. The right fielder, 0 for 1 on the day. In the series for the Mariners, Lovely played right field yesterday. He was 0 for 3, had a sacrifice RBI fly, though, in the 6th inning of the last one. He also drew a walk in the 4th. He steps in batting left. Here comes the first pitch to him with 1 out. Still 3-1 the score. He looks at a ball outside and low. Ball 1. 1-0 now the count. Blunk will deliver the 1-0 pitch. On the outside corner at the waist. Strike 1. Count evens up now. 1-1 apiece. Lovely wears number 43 as he hits this one high into about midfield there. It'll be caught there by the midfielder and Wood. There are now 2 away. 3-1 still the score. Mariners trying to get their next base hit. They haven't gotten a base hit since that first inning after back-to-back singles by Chris Myers and Jake McCaw. Other than that, Blunk has done a really good job of holding these Mariners hitless. And then that'll bring up now Tyson Hayes. He flew out to left his last time up as he looks at a fastball high. 1-0. 2 outs, nobody on. Mariners trailing 3-1 here in the first 3 innings of play. Now in the top of the 4th we are. Here comes the first pitch to him, low. Ball 2, 2-0 now here. Hayes, again, a man who came to life here most recently, entered this day hitting .242 as he hits this one into the gap. It will get past the glove of the second baseman, and that will give Hayes a single. He's now 1 for 2. Again, entered this day .242 with a .386 on base percentage and 8 RBIs. 4 of those RBIs came via the home run. They were against the Richmond Jazz. That'll now bring up Hayden Cart, the center fielder. Drew a walk his last time up. He's a man trying to look for some improvement on the season. He's got a little bit problem of being a little bit too aggressive. He now bats right against the lefty. Hit 192 coming into this day. He'll look at ball 1 there high. 1-0 now the count to him. He did draw a walk, though. That's what they've got to work on with him, though. It's just being a little bit patient. The man from University of Charleston looks at strike 2 inside. 2-0, or ball 2, correction, inside 2-0. 2 outs, runner on first, and Tyson Hayes does have a stolen base on the year, so we'll see if they work his above-average athleticism for a catcher anyway. Cart just swings and comes up with nothing but a little bit of dust and pollen on that one. 2-1. Throw back to first. Almost got past the first baseman, who had to jump over the legs and actually tripped over Hayes a little bit. But Hayes did get back in time. Very light breeze here. Nothing that would affect the ball too much in flight. Here comes the 2-1 to Hayes, who cuts and misses there. Maybe got a piece of it. Count, though, now at 2-2 with 2 outs, runner on first. For Hayes, again, 1 stolen base for him on the year, so we'll see if they decide to run him. Head coach Damon Hacker said he was not afraid to run with his catchers or his first baseman, the quote-unquote not as athletic baseball players. Doesn't matter. Strike 3 called here, catching the inside corner there to Cart. He'll go down for the first time today. It'll be the 3rd strikeout here for the pitcher in Blunk. There was 1 hit, no runs, no errors. The 1 man was left on base. We now head to the bottom of the 4th, due up for the Sugar Beets, leading 3-1. We'll have Connor Sharping, Michael Wesley, and Ryan Robinette due up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So we return out here to Saginaw, Michigan. Riggs steps back onto the mound. He'll go for his 4th inning of work here. 3-1. His team is trailing. They did get their 3rd hit of the game, though, off of the bat of Tyson Hayes, doing the catching, of course, here today. It'll be Sharping due up next after this one. Just as a reminder of the standings here as we hit this is game 20 of the season for the Mariners. They're currently 12-7, tied for first with Lima in the Northern Division. Saginaw Sugar Beets are 12-10, game and a half back from Lima and the Grand Lake Mariners. Mariners are on a 6-game winning streak, while the Sugar Beets have dropped 2 straight. This one will come right off the bat if Sharping gets past the diving Blake Crossing, and so a leadoff single there for Sharping. That'll bring up Michael Wesley. Had that triple that Jaron Lovely just kind of lost out there in right field. Since then, he has put on his sunglasses. That is Jaron Lovely, of course. Hopefully he'll be able to see a little bit better. Very odd start time for the Mariners. Again, most weekday games and Saturday games start at 7:05, but here in Saginaw, they decide to do things a little bit differently. They have a 4:05 start after actually a 6 o'clock start that was scheduled for a 4:30 start yesterday, but it ended up starting at 6. Here comes the first pitch. Runner goes. Tyson Hayes gathers it up. Doesn't get it, though, on the transfer. So there will allow Sharping to move over to second. And the count 1-0 as that one missed low. That one was low and actually maybe bounced a little bit till it got to Hayes. If it had been a better pitch, they might have been able to get Sharping, one of the catchers who's doing the DHing here today. But it was a good jump. Hayes couldn't get it out of his glove and into his hand properly. Didn't feel like throwing it out into the outfield, so he just held on. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. This one will be chopped down the third base line and go foul. 1-1 now the count here. On the count now with nobody out. Runner on second after the stolen base by Sharping. Here comes the check back to second before Riggs delivers. This will be swung and hit into center field. It'll get down for a base hit, and they will hold up. Now Sharping at third. Runners at the corners, and Riggs has got himself into some trouble here. Nobody out. So that'll be another single here, and that'll be Wesley's second base hit. He's 2 for 2 for the day. That'll bring up Ryan Robinette. Had an RBI single, has a chance to get his second RBI of the game now in this chance. He's 1 for 1 with that single and an RBI back in this, the second baseman back in the second inning. He steps in, he'll bat right, wearing number 27. Here comes the first pitch. Runner goes. This one will be tapped and will dribble foul down the third base line. Runner was off and running on the first pitch there, so it looks like the Sugar Beets are going to be aggressive now, running the bases, enjoying that 3-1 lead here at home. Runners remain at the corners now. Back-to-back singles to start this inning, as well as a stolen base by the designated hitter, Sharping. Now looking in for his pitch is Riggs, trying to get out of this jam. Now he's in with runners at the corners. Throw back to first. Diving in safely is Wesley. Still the count is 0-1 to Robinette. Riggs will look in, get his sign. Robinette bats right here. Right-handed pitcher. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. This one will be tapped right and gets past the glove of Spry and then gets past the glove of Crossing. So the defense falling apart here now. The throw back to second after tried to round second and got caught between second and third was Wesley. That'll be an RBI single. The second RBI for Robinette, though. Wesley got back in time, so the Mariners a little bit slower here defensively than on most days. That one got past the glove of both McCaw and Crossing, so now the score 4-1. Still nobody out. Or correction, they got nobody out here. So the inning continues, and so Riggs now has runner at first and second. We'll see if they decide to run the runner from second, or the left-handed batter Adam Proctor, who had that 2-run shot here, will be looking for his second base hit. See as Riggs pitches to him high. Ball 1. 1-0 now the count. Perhaps that was sort of a purposeful throw high to see if they couldn't see if Wesley would try to run. Again, they've been aggressive with the base running in this inning for the Sugar Beets. Already scored 1 now. 4-1 the score. This one will be tapped here, and this one will get through the gap. They will go ahead and send the guy from second home, and now it'll be 5-1 as they throw to the cutoff. Runners at the corners now. Still nobody out. Mariners trailing 5-1. And this has to be a meeting on the mound, and it will be, as head coach Damon Hacker comes in now, and so will Tyson Hayes, the catcher. RBI single there for Proctor. He'll get his third RBI and second base hit of the game. I'll bring up Daniel Page, struck out swinging his last time up. Nobody out now. Still runners at the corners. 5-1 the score. It's actually an entire meeting between the infield now. Got to imagine they're going to send somebody out to the bullpen here to warm up soon. But the whole infield comes in to have a conversation. Again, it's kind of been plays where the infield could have made some good defensive plays, but slow movement kind of caught dead on their feet have also hurt Riggs as well. Riggs now down 5-1 here in the fourth inning, has yet to record an out. And I'm going to bring up the right-handed hitter, third baseman Daniel Page.
Daniel Page.
He'll look over for a sign from his third base coach, and now he'll step in. Riggs will check back to first with second base open. You gotta almost wonder that they're gonna send Proctor here. They do not, as this one bounces out in front of the plate, blocked up there nicely by Hayes. Perhaps they felt like sending him on the first pitch was too predictable. They've done that 2 times here already in the inning. The first time resulted in a stolen base. The second time, it was fouled off. So count now 1-0 though. Riggs will deliver. This one popped high. Coney comes in, does not leave the infield. He will move over and make the catch. Juggled around in his glove there a little bit, but he does secure it. Count now cleared off as Page will go out for the second time today. Coney will get the catch there to retire the first batter. And so now a double play ball would be much in Riggs' favor just to hold this one to a 4-run lead. Mariners have done doing a lot of comebacks here lately. Only in the fourth inning, though. They've still got plenty of time to try to come back. Check back here to first. Riggs will set, gather, deliver to Brady Wood. Swings and tips it back. Count now goes 0-1 to the leadoff man, Brady Wood. He's 0-2, struck out looking his most recent time up. Grounded out to short in the first inning for the Beets in their leadoff on the first. 0-1 now the count. Riggs will check back to second. We'll see if they decide to send Proctor here, who hasn't been looking like he wants to run. It's an 0-1 count. Riggs will set, gather, throw back to first. Spry will catch it. The runner will be back in time. So an 0-1 count with 1 out. Right-handed batter, and Wood steps in. He will tap this one off. It is a routine double play ball, but Crossing cannot come up with it. And so there is an error on Crossing. That will allow a run to score. It will not be earned. That'll be the 6th run scored. Because I tell you what, that's as easy as they get as far as double play balls are concerned. So there actually will be an RBI on that one. Because you cannot assume 2 outs, but it looked like a pretty much dished up to get the double play that they would have wanted. It was right to Crossing. He just could not get it into his glove, and you're almost afraid now with some of the defensive lapses we've seen in this one. Is this one missing high and outside? Ball 1-0 now to the man Cooper Marshall, 0-2 on the day. 1 out, runner at first and second. 6-1 now after a 3 spot has been put up in this one as well in the bottom of the 4th. Check back here to second before the 1-0 pitch. Just missing outside. Ball 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. High, ball 3. Riggs has lost all sort of command now in this at-bat, and he's perhaps a little bit shaken up now, giving up 3 runs in this inning, just like he did in the second. He's only recorded 1 out, too. Check back here to second. Riggs gathers and delivers this. And this one will be fouled back there. 3-1. Now the count. 6-1 the score. Runner on second is Adam Proctor. Had an RBI single. And then reaching on the error was Brady Wood. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. It's high. Will not leave the infield, or actually it will. Coming in will be Cart. He will make the catch. Crossing did the smart thing and backed away from that one because Cart was charging in. It was a very shallow into center field. There now will retire the second batter in the inning.
The left fielder, number 0, Josh Williams.
That'll now bring up Josh Williams. He is 1 for 2 on the day with a double with 2 outs back in the third. He'll get his third plate appearance here today. Briggs will gather, check back to second. 2 outs, 6-1 the score. He delivers the first pitch to Williams. High fly ball will cut foul though. Had a lot of distance to it. In fact, perhaps could have been a really dangerous ball if it had stayed fair. But luckily for the Mariners, it gets out of play. 0-1 now the count here to Williams. Gathering his Riggs, he will deliver the 0-1 pitch. Shows bunt, pulls it back. It looks like the bottom of that strike zone has now come up a little bit, as it now 1-1. Runner on second. Runner on first. Here comes the pitch. Popped high into foul territory. Spry will look over. He will make the catch. And no, actually, it gets out of his glove. So it'll just be a foul ball. The count now runs 1-2. It landed in his glove, but then bounced out. So a chance there to get the final out of the inning. Instead, it'll go off the glove of Spry. And that'll be the second error in the inning for the Mariners. It'll be an E3. So 2 errors in this inning. 6-1 the score. A 1-2 pitch here. Riggs to Williams. We'll see if he can get him out. Here comes the pitch. Strike 3 called at the knees. And that will retire Josh Williams. That'll be the 5th strikeout of the game for the Mariners. They scored 3 runs. There were 2 errors in this game, in this inning. 2 men left on base. And there was a total of 4 hits in this inning. You're listening to Mariners Baseball. They trail 6-1 as we head to the top of the 5th. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. So we now head to the top of the 5th. Due up for the Mariners, it'll be Jack Coney, R.J. Williams, and then back to the top of the order, Evan Spry. Blunt comes out enjoying a nice lead now at 6-1. All smiles for the Sugar Beets. Mariners will be trying to make a comeback victory for 2 games in a row. And that also includes 3 of their last 4 games. Again, they had that 8-1 comeback. You don't expect that to be a normal thing, though, occurs, though. 6-1 now here with still plenty of time for the Mariners, only in the top of the 5th now. And again, Blunk returns. Part of the issue has been just left-handed batters going up against the left-handed pitcher. It's nothing really the Mariners can do. Even their quote-unquote right-handed heavy lineup still is 5 right-handed or 5 left-handed pitchers, so they're all, or left-handed batters, so they're always left-handed heavy. So nothing new here. They just have to try to work around it. Blunk has done a good job to this point, only allowing the 1 run. Coney, though, a right-handed batter, does step in. Second baseman shows bunt. Called a strike anyway, as he fell through it. Here comes the 0-1 pitch now. Blunk will step on. We are currently about an hour and 5 minutes into play. Coney swings through this one, and then on his backswing, kind of drops his bat into the chest plate of the catcher there. Now the count goes to 0-2. It's the third time in recent memory that we've seen a batter lose their bat. Two of them up against the Mariners, with the other one to recent memory was Hicks. As Coney rockets this one, though, right to the shortstop, fumbles it a little bit, and so there, Coney will reach on the error. Coney will reach via the E6. And so now the Mariners getting a lucky break there on a defensive lapse. That was dropped there by the shortstop, Marshall. Coney now on first base. That'll now bring up R.J. Williams. He struck out as part of a strike him out, throw him out, double play back in the second. That was a strikeout looking. For Williams, the man from Bowling Green State University, had 39 games, including 22 starts, as he looks and swings at this first pitch, fouls it back towards the screen. It does stay in play, but it went off the screen. 0-1 now the count here quickly to Williams, who had 288 batting average with 3 RBIs and a 391 on-base percentage. We'll see if he shows bunt here. That's something he can do very well, as it's now an 0-1 count to him. Throw back here to first. Coney gets back in time. By the way, if you're wondering about Coney's speed, he only has 1 stolen base, hasn't been on base a lot, hasn't had a lot of opportunities to play. He just kind of uses them out there when he's needed. R.J. Williams will swing and foul this one off. Count quickly now 0-2 to him. (0-2) now. Runner on first, reached via the error by the shortstop Marshall. Nobody out. Here comes the pitch to Williams. Bounces out in front of the plate. Picked out there nicely by Proctor. Ball 1, 1-2 now. That holds Coney over at first. Coney will take a nice lead off now. He looks in. He stares down the left-handed pitcher. Blunk will deliver. R.J. Williams hits a hard one out into left field, but Josh Williams will come in, make the catch there. Josh Williams can cover a lot of ground out there in left field, and he was also not that far off from that one, lined up defensively. So that'll be the first out there on an F7 back to the top of the lineup. That'll bring up Evan Spry, a man 0 for 1 on the day with a walk back in the first. Flew out to left his most recent time up. Left-handed batter, back-to-back lefties here for the Mariners. Throw back to first. Just getting back in time will be Coney. So Coney will get his lead off again. Here comes the first pitch to Spry. Throw back to first. It will not be in time. Just barely does Coney, who, by the way, had a very good lead off. Almost got a decent jump there. The throw back in time. 0-1 now the count here. Here comes the pitch. Called strike 2. 0-2 now the count. Count 0-2 here now. Throw back to first. Not in time. Coney is getting a really good lead off out there. And there are a couple now back-to-back plays, which he has just barely gotten back in time. And again, he takes that very aggressive lead off. Outside, ball 1, 1-2 now the count now. Here to the batter in Evan Spry. Again, drew a walk his first time up. And then flew out to left his most recent time up. So 1-2 now the count. Coney on first, now covered in dust, having to dive in a lot here against it in this at-bat. This one will miss outside. Count evens up now at 2-2. Coney goes back to first. Evan Spry working the count here, seeing to see if he can't get aboard for the second time today. Try to keep the inning going with only 1 out. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Just a bit outside. He works the count full, 3-2. Again, Ryan Stacy is still out with a strained oblique, as this one is low, ball 4, so that will advance Coney over to second. Second walk here of the day for Spry. As I was saying, Ryan Stacy still missing from the lineup for the Mariners. Usual center fielder, but he has had a strained oblique that took him out in a game in which he was dominating the Richmond Jazz. I thought at first, until it was relayed to me that he was taken out because he was feeling having a tight oblique, I thought it was just a move because he had had 3 RBIs in that game, including a 2-run shot, or a solo shot actually, and then a 3-run single that he drove in on that one. I just thought that perhaps it was because, okay, you've had a good day, let's give another guy a chance to get some playing time. No, apparently he had felt some tightness in his oblique. He has now missed the past week. They will reassess tomorrow and see if he isn't ready to go against the Muskegon Clippers. They said it would probably be about a week, so fingers crossed that we will be seeing Stacy soon, because his bat has been missed. That'll now bring up the switch hitting shortstop. Blake Crossing flew out to right his 2 times up here today. He's 0 for 2 as he steps in batting right here against the left-hander. Runner on first, runner on second. He has a chance to get something going now for the Mariners here in this 5th inning. This one high and outside, ball 1. Thank you for listening wherever you might be listening. I'm Donovan Mann, the voice of the Mariners this summer. There's a 1-0 count here to Crossing, 6-1 the score. Mariners trailing. Crossing cuts and misses at a low fastball there. 1-1 the count evens up. 1 out. Runner on second is Jack Coney. Runner on first is Evan Spry, who drew a walk. Coney reached on an error as the leadoff hitter of this inning. In the top of the 5th, here comes the 1-1 pitch. Crossing will pop this one high back out of play. Goes past his team's first base dugout here on the road. 1-2 now the count here for Crossing. Steps back in. 1 out, 1-2 the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Check back here to second, and Coney again's got a pretty good leadoff. Here comes the 1-2. Hit here, right towards the shortstop. Bumbles it again. Thrown over to second for 1. And they will get out Spry there on the fielder's choice. Now runners at the corners with 2 outs will bring up Chris Myers. He's 1 for 2 on the day. That could have been very easily the end of the inning, but it was fumbled there by the shortstop, who, by the way, I did mention that this in the last broadcast, this team has committed 30 now. They committed a few errors in the last game. They've now committed 34 or 35 errors on the season, so fielding the ball has been somewhat of an issue. And Cooper Marshall, by the way, does have 6 errors, including the one in this game, on the season. Strike 1 here, now 0-1. The pitching has been all right for Saginaw. The bats have been their strong suit, but fielding defensively has been their weakness. This one is hit right towards the first baseman, though. It is caught for the line out. And boy, that was a chance to bring it back within 1, but looks like we might be having that kind of day for the Mariners where they can't catch a break. That one goes right towards the first baseman, retires the side. No runs score, no hits. There was 1 error. There was 2 men left on base. We now head to the bottom of the 5th. Mariners trailing still 6-1. It will be Riggs to return to the mound, see if he can't get 1 more inning of work. He'll be going up against Noah Marcoux, Connor Sharping, and Michael Wesley, due up for the Sugar Beets. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. So Riggs returns back out to the mound. He's given up 6 runs on the day. He now returns. He will be facing the 4-5-6 hitters and Marcoux, Sharping, and Wesley. Sharping steps in first. He is the first, or correction, Marcoux steps in first. He is the first baseman. He's 0 for 2, grounded out. That ground out that got past the glove of the first baseman Spry, but then it was picked up nicely by Coney, who was able to throw it over to Riggs. Then covering at first, that is how he was retired, to retire the side back in the 3rd. So Marcoux steps in. He 0 for 2 on the day. Riggs will deliver to him. Missing there, ball 1, 1-0 now the count. It'll be Sharping and Wesley due up next. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Inside, ball 2. 2-0 now here. And Riggs is starting to show some fatigue here on a hot day. He's not a starter that's gone deep into games, as this one is a high fly ball into shallow center. Crossing goes back. Coney comes in. It gets past the glove of Coney, and Cart will eventually be the one to pick it up, so it'll be a single there for Marcoux. It'll be his first base hit of the day. Rig up a man that is now 1 for 2 in Connor Sharping. I tell you what, that should have been a play where both the shortstop and the second baseman, Blake Crossing, actually did get out of the way. Coney decided he wanted to try to make the play. It should have been a play, though. Hayden Cart should have been able to run in and get that one. But he didn't want to try to make the catch with his second baseman and shortstop both running in. Here comes a throwback to first. Getting back in time is Marcoux. Sharping now steps in, designated hitter. 1 for 2. Had a stolen base off of his single back in the 4th. Only 2 batters left in this lineup, as this is called ball 1, 1-0. Only two hitters left in this lineup without a base hit for the Sugar Beets. It's the 9-hitter, and correction, there's actually 3 if you look at the error by Brady Wood, or on Brady Wood's at bat. This is another high fly ball. Coney will go out here and come up, make the catch this time. So he will retire the first batter. Runner remains at first. I believe this 3rd time today Coney has caught a fly ball that's just barely left the infield. Actually, one of them didn't even leave the infield. So that'll bring up the right fielder, Michael Wesley. He is a man who's gotten here to Riggs quite a few times, or twice now today. He had a triple that should have been a final out back in the 2nd. Instead, it set up a 3-run inning. That triple was one that got right past Coney, who lost it up in the sun. He looks at strike 1 down at the knees in the inside corner, 0-1. Again, that triple, the ball ended up past Coney just to his left. Correction, Lovely just to his left, who lost it in the sun. He since has put on sunglasses. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Runner goes. Tapped over to the 3rd baseman. Runner goes in time. And so the only play will be at first. And they will catch him out. With Marcoux off and running on that one. There was no chance at the double play, so they make the smart play, go over to first. They're now 2 away. Runner on 2nd to bring up Ryan Robinette, a man with 2 RBIs and 2 singles on the day. Back in the 2nd, he had an RBI single. Back in the 4th, he had an RBI single. Now runner at 2nd. A good base hit here would certainly give him his 3rd. Riggs just wants to retire him for the first time today, much like he just did to Wesley. Strike 1 here at the knees. 0-1 quickly. Riggs also with something a little bit more to prove to his coaches here also. Proving that he can rein this one back in after giving up 6 runs and at least give the Mariners a glimmer of hope to try to come back. Here comes the 0-1. That'll go ball 1. 1-1 now the count. 2 outs. Runner on 2nd. Runner on 2nd is Marcoux. With 2 stolen bases on the year, we'll see if he decides to run on this one. Here comes the 1-1 pitch after a double take to 2nd. Here comes the 1-1. Popped high. Looks like it might stay in play. Tyson Hayes will come over and just escapes play. So the count now 1-2. That one actually landed right near us the way it hit. And then rolled down, went down the stairs. Count now 1-2 here to Robinette. Chipped foul there towards his 3rd base dugout where the Sugar Beets reside. Count remains at 1-2. 1-2 now the count. 2 outs. Runner on 2nd here to Robinette, a man who's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs on the day already. Riggs will check back. Deliver the 1-2 pitch. High. Ball 2. Count evens up now at 2-2. 2 outs. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Popped high, back and out of play. Count will remain at 2-2. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. Runner on second. Robinette, the batter, batting right here against Riggs, the right-handed pitcher. Riggs will look in for his sign. And time is called here by Robinette after it was an unusually long hold and delay there by Riggs. Riggs has worked tempo early in this game. Now here later, though, he has spread it up just a tad bit. Or, I mean, he slowed it down just a tad bit. Cut on and missed. Or they will call it a balk. So Riggs will balk, and that will now no pitch there, and so that'll actually advance Marcoux 90 feet away, the 7th run for potential 7 run anyway for the Sugar Beets. Robinette gets a lucky chance there as he had chased a high heater. So 2-2 with 2 outs. We'll see if Riggs can get him to chase again. He does not. Instead, it'll be a high fly ball deep into left. R.J. Williams goes back, makes the catch, and that will retire this side. The balk does no damage. F7 there as R.J. Williams makes the catch into deep, deep left field right at the fence. No runs scored on the 1 hit. No errors. 1 man was abandoned on base. We will now head to the bottom of, or the top of the 6th, due up for the Mariners as they trail 6-1. It will be Jake McCall, Jaron Lovely, and Tyson Hayes due up. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. So, new pitcher on the mound comes out for the Sugar Beets. It'll be right-hander Jack Taggett making his 7th appearance. He has pitched 5 1/3 innings thus far, a 6.75 ERA, 1-1 record. He's allowed 2 home runs and 7 total extra base hits, struck out 4, walked 4. Book closed on Matthew Blunk, the starting lefty. He went 5 innings, only allowed the 1 earned run, 3 hits, 3 walks, struck out 3 as well. So McCall, Lovely, and Hayes will now go up against the righty on the mound. And almost for the Mariners, you could think this might play into their hand now, bringing on a righty here against a lefty. Well, technically this is their quote-unquote righty-heavy lineup, but still lefty-heavy. Jake McCall, a man 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI single back in the 1st. He will lead off. For Taggett, he attends Kalamazoo College. He's from Frankenmuth, Michigan. At Kalamazoo this past season, had 12 appearances with 3 starts as he pitches this one low and inside. It might have actually gotten McCall. It did. So Taggett will hit Jake McCall, and he will walk over to the inning. It might have gotten him on the foot. That'll now bring up Jaron Lovely with 0 for 2, flew out to center and right his 2 times up. A little bit more here on Taggett. His 12 appearances with 3 starts. He went 4-3 with 30 and 2/3 innings pitched, a 4.99 ERA and 19 punch-outs at Kalamazoo College. So now nobody out. The hit by pitch to lead off for Jake McCall brings up another left-handed batter, and Jaron Lovely, again 0 for 2 on the day. He looks at one inside. Ball 1. It was low and inside. 1-0 the count. 6-1 the score. Mariners trying to make a comeback here in the 6th inning. They will look to start it. This one will be tapped off the glove field there nicely by the second baseman, thrown over to second for one, back to first for the double play. Taggett gets bailed out there after hitting the leadoff hitter. It is a 4-6-3 double play. That'll bring up Tyson Hayes, cleaned off the bases now.
Now batting, the catcher.
With a double play there, that'll bring up still 6-1. Tyson Hayes is 1 for 2 with a single back in the 4th. Flew out to left in the 1st. He now comes up. Righty-righty matchup here now. Hayes looks at ball 1. Here comes the next pitch. Strike 1 called there. Low and at the knees. Maybe a little bit low outside of the zone. But again, the low part of the zone has been pretty consistent for the most part. 1-1 now the count here to Hayes. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Smacked hard but foul. Past the third base dugout and towards the batting cages. 1-2. 2 outs. Nobody on. Hayes steps back in. He's got a 1-2 pitch. Coming to him. Here it comes. Bounces out in front of the plate. Count evens up now at 2-2. Count now 1-2, 2 outs, nobody on. And now umpire is going to come out and exchange balls with Taggett, the pitcher. Going to have a couple of words for each other. And that will be that. Taggett returns to the mound. Umpire returns to his spot behind Proctor, the catcher. Play ball. 1-2, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch to Hayes. Popped high, back and out of play. Count will remain at 1-2. Hayes fighting now to stay alive here in this at-bat. Work the count, see if he can't get back aboard. Again, his single back in the 4th came with 2 outs. He'll be trying to do much of the same and give Hayden Cart a chance. And this one will be hit even harder, though. Foul again down the third base side. Even more directly now to the bullpen. And there's, I believe, somebody up and throwing for the Sugar Beets. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Hit high, but not very deep into left center field. Center fielder comes over, makes the catch. Caught there by Wood, and that will retire the side. Well, after a hit by pitch on the first pitch that gave Jake McCall the leadoff base runner, Jaron Lovely grounded into a double play, and Tyson Hayes flies out to the center fielder. That will now retire the side. Here, no runs, no hits, no errors, no man left on base. We now head to the bottom of the 6th. Mariners still trailing 6-1. We'll see who it is that comes out back onto the mound for the Mariners here in a second. It will be Joshua Riggs. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. So Riggs will come out for his 6th inning of work. There is somebody up and throwing in the bullpen, though, for the Mariners. Can't see from my distance the number on the front of his jersey. We'll talk more about him, though, when we know who it is. But Riggs now back on the mound to start the bottom of the 6th. He's got Adam Proctor, Daniel Page, and Brady Wood due up for the Sugar Beets. Proctor is 2 for 2. He's driven in 3 runs. He had a 2-run home run back in the 2nd, and then an RBI single back in the 4th. He steps in, the catcher. He'll bat right. Do believe up in the bullpen it might be Tommy Seamer for the Mariners. Somebody up and throwing as well in the bullpen for the Sugar Beets as well. It is number 38, Adam Kowalski. Here comes the pitch. First pitch to Proctor. It is tapped. Foul. 0-1. So 0-1 with now batting left is Proctor. This one is popped high, back out of play. 0-2 now the count here to Proctor. A man who has gotten to Riggs twice in this game already. 2 for 2, 3 runs batted in for him. Here comes the pitch to him. Low, checked his swing. He did not go. Ball 1, 1-2. Looking in is Riggs for his sign. He has slowed it down a little bit here, but still keeps the tempo. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, popped high, back, out of play. Count will remain now at 1-2. Proctor has made Riggs work here, even in this at-bat. And it wasn't like that RBI single was a quick at-bat either. The two-run home run was. As here comes the 1-2 pitch. This one is popped high into foul territory. Evan Spry, first baseman, comes over towards the fence, makes the catch. And so for the first time today, Proctor will go down in foul territory to the first baseman. Here in the bottom of the sixth now, one away, 6-1 the score. Daniel Page, 0 for 2 comes in.
Daniel Page.
He is one of 2 batters not to reach base safely here in this one. He's a 9-hitter. He struck out swinging his first time up, popped out to second baseman Jack Coney most recently. Here comes the first pitch to him. Strike called there. 0-1 now the count. Page, a right-handed batter. He looks at the 0-1 pitch. It's high. Ball 1. 1-1 now the count with 1 out, nobody on. Riggs trying to get through his 6th inning of work here and give perhaps Tommy Seamer a little bit more time to warm up. Here comes the next pitch to him, bounces out in front of the plate. Locked up there by Hayes. 2-1 the count. And for Riggs, the story again has been those explosive innings. He's only allowed runs in 2 innings, but they've both been 3-run innings. Cut on and missed here now by Page. It's something that was low and in the dirt. Count now runs even at 2-2. 1 out, nobody on. Riggs will deliver the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called right there at the knees. Daniel Page will go down on strikes for the 2nd time today. That'll go back to the top of the order. A man who got an RBI and reached on an E6.
For the Sugar Beets, it is the center fielder,
Brady Wood.
The
The center fielder wearing number 11 bats right now here. He will be the 3rd batter in this inning with 2 outs, nobody on. Here comes Riggs to deliver to him. First pitch, catches the high part of the zone there. Strike 1. 0-1 the count. 2 outs, nobody on. 6-1 the score. Mariners trailing here. As strike 2 quickly pitched there. That one was a little bit lower, but still on the high part of the zone. Quickly 0-2 here now to Wood. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Popped back high towards the first base dugout and out of play. Somebody will run over. Some kid will run over, grab their free goodie for returning the foul ball. 0-2 now still the count here to Wood. 2 outs, nobody on. Riggs will deliver the 0-2 pitch. Popped high in foul territory. Looks like it will stay in play towards the Mariners dugout. And it will drop safely. Count remains at 0-2. Tell you what. There's a man guarding the dugout, of course. With it being in play, somebody's got to stand up and guard the dugout. And then, of course, Logan Adams, the catcher in the bullpen, doing the catching for Tommy Seamer as he warms up. They all got out of the way because they knew 3 guys were charging in for that one. But it dropped safely right in the middle of the bullpen. Riggs will step back on. 0-2 count still here, and he'll see if he can't get Wood out on strikes for the 2nd time here today. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Riggs. Just a bit outside and low. Ball 1, 1-2 now the count here to Wood. He's going to have to be patient and work this count. He's fended off now 3 pitches and finally got a ball, something he was comfortable looking at. Here comes the 1-2 pitch now. Low bouncing out in front of the plate. 2-2. We'll see if Riggs decides to throw him a strike here now, or see if he decides to give him one last chance to cut and miss. We'll see what Riggs decides. He waits off the first 2 pitches, gathers at the belt, delivers the 2-2 pitch. Just tapped. Perhaps something that was a little bit low, but he fends it off just to be sure, because again, the strike zone has been a little bit lower at times here today. 2-2 the count. 2 outs, nobody on. Check in here by Riggs. He will gather. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Tapped, foul off the leg of Wood, who's going to have to jog that one off. He's definitely feeling that one. Does not have a shin guard on. Wouldn't matter, because I believe that was off of his back leg anyway. Did roll forward, but when it goes off of a player's leg, obviously it's foul. So he'll come back around, did a full circle around the batter's box is there. And now he will step back in, batting right. Still probably stinging a little bit from fouling that one off his leg, but play must go on. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Popped high, foul, and will leave towards the tarp over there. It's either a tarp or a giant piece of black tube. I can't tell from my angle. Either way, stayed in play, but nobody was able to get to it. So the count remains at 2-2. This one rocketed towards crossing, gathers it up nicely, thrown over to Spry first base, and for the first time today, the Sugar Beets will go in order. Or correction, the second time here today. Second time Brady Wood is grounded out to shortstop. No runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on base here in this inning. We will now head to the top of the 7th. Mariners down 6-1. We'll try to mount a comeback here. Coming out to the mound will be number 38 and Adam Kowalski. We'll talk about him when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. So Jack Taggett, the righty that came in relief in the 6th inning, came in, had 1 inning pitch, did not allow any runs, hits, didn't walk anybody, didn't strike anybody out. The new pitcher on the mound is Adam Kowalski. He steps in, a man from the Indiana Institute of Technology from Arlington Heights, Illinois. He has had 4 previous appearances on the season, so appearance number 5, 4 innings pitched, 4.50 ERA. He struck out 3 and walked 4. He's not allowed up any home runs, has not had any saves, no extra base hits. Pretty solid thus far for him. We'll see how he goes here now, though, against the 7, 8, 9 hitters in Hayden Cart, Jack Coney, and R.J. Williams. A group that is 0 for 5 on the day thus far. Hayden Cart, the only one of those 3 to reach base safely. Actually, correction, Coney reached on the error back in the 5th as well. It was a walk for Cart back in the 2nd, and then he struck out looking back in the 4th. We'll see what Cart can do to start this inning as the Mariners trail 6-1, just trying to get something going. Again, late inning comebacks have been some sort of specialty for the Mariners thus far, but you got to wonder, though, in the 6-game winning streak at risk now, how far they can keep that up. Here comes the pitch to Cart, high, ball 1. Cart can take his walks, and something you would love to see him be a little bit more patient, especially with so few right-handed batters. You would love to see some of these righties step up, as this one is high again. 2-0. Kowalski to Cart. 2-0 the count. Nobody out here as Cart, the leadoff man, steps in batting right against the righty. He will cut and miss at something a little bit more in the zone. Actually, just got a piece of that one, fouls it back and out of play. 2-1 now the count here. It's a Cart. Steps back in wearing number 44. Again, only been on base once in this game as another heater thrown high there. Gathered up nicely by Proctor, the catcher. And now the count 3-1 to Cart. Cart not chasing any of these high balls. And why would he? They've been really high. Practically at his letters and neck. This one, I guess, will be a favorable call. Again, the low part of the zone has been definitely the favorable part for the pitchers to throw at. Now the count is full at 3-2. Gathering now. Kowalski will look in. Here comes the payoff pitch. Hit high. Not very deep, though. Running in will be the center fielder to make the catch. Wood will retire Cart. He will go down for the second time today. I'll bring up Jack Coney, a man reached on an error his last time out. Other than that, he struck out swinging. We'll see what he can do now. As with one away, nobody on, 6-1 the score.
Number 46, Jack Cody.
Mariners trailing here on the road. Their 6-game win streak in danger. They're also in danger now of falling a half game off of Lima in the top of the North. Chasing the high heat there that Hayden Cart did a great job of laying off is Coney. He'll go down now 0-1. Due up after Coney will be R.J. Williams. He'll cut and miss on another one. Now 0-2. Coney quickly down in a hole he doesn't want to be in. Here comes the gather. 0-2 pitch. Delivery. Outside. Ball one. 1-2 now the count. One out. Nobody on. 6-1 the score. Coney the man at the plate. Second baseman who has not gotten a lot of playing time, but he does try to produce, but he will go down swinging. The second time today, he will strike out swinging. 2 away now brings up R.J. Williams, was struck out and as part of a strike him out, throw him out double play back on the second, and then flow out to left on a solid hit, but just with that speed of Josh Williams out there, was able to come over and make the catch. So we'll see what he can do now batting left. Pretty much straight up defense all the way around for maybe a little bit more to the left for Williams, as this one high outside. Ball one. 1-0 now the count here. 2 outs. Runner. No runners on as a 1-0 pitch. Kowalski to Williams. He'll swing and miss on this one. Kowalski has done a really good job of throwing the pitches by these last couple of batters. They've been behind him. Especially Coney struggled with the fastball. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. He'll cut and miss at something down low. Count now runs 1-2. Kowalski will look in. His team leading 6-1. 9 hits for them, only 3 for the Mariners, which is a very rarity. Normally, except for that game against the Settlers in this 6-game win streak, they've been swinging the bat very well. Except for in the Settlers, the count now 2-2, so that one misses. Against the Settlers on Friday, they struggled to swing. That game was only 2-1. Mariners came out on top, and down goes swinging will be R.J. Williams. That will retire the side. Here, they go in order. 2 strikeouts for Kowalski, using his fastball to throw it past the last couple of batters very nicely. So we will now head to the bottom half of the 7th in the 7th inning stretch. Due up for the Sugar Beets, it will be Cooper Marshall, Josh Williams, and Noah McCrew. We'll see who comes out on the mound for the Mariners here to start the 7th. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. So the day in the book is closed on Joshua Riggs. He went 6 innings, giving up a total of 6 runs. All of them were earned. Total of 9 hits. He walked a total of 0 batters. Did not allow a walk. And struck out a total of 6. He struck out a total of 6, didn't walk anybody. So again, strikeout pitcher, doesn't walk a lot of guys, but his home run is what has hurt him. And he gave up 1 here today, 2-run shot. Of course, his defense out in right field didn't help him out either, but we're moving past the play now. 6-1 the score as Tommy Seamer steps on. Right-handed pitcher, he will be facing the 2, 3, 4 hitters for the Sugar Beets. A little bit more on Tommy Seamer entering his 5th appearance. He's had 1 start already on the season. This will be his 5th total appearance. He is 1-0 on the season, a 5.78 ERA, 9 1/3 innings pitched, 5 punch-outs to just 6 walks. As Seamer delivers, this one is hit right into the glove of Jake McCall. Jake McCall jumps up, makes the athletic catch, and that will retire the first batter, 1 quickly here away. That'll now bring up Josh Williams. He is 0 for 2, or 1 for 2 on 3 on the day. A couple of strikeouts looking, but a double back in the 3rd with 2 outs. Looking for his second base hit facing Seamer. Seamer will throw this one low, tapped though foul down the 3rd base line. Count now goes 0-1 here to Williams. Mariners trailing 6-1 here, trying to find another late innings comeback. This one thrown hard past the glove of Hayes. Showing bunt was Williams. He pulls it back. 1-1 now the count with 1 out, nobody on. And we might have been talking about a potential double with how hard that one was hit. As this one, showing bunt again, pulls it back low, 2-1. Talk about a potential double by Cooper Marshall to lead off the inning. But an athletic and high jump there by Myers caught it as this one is rocketed out to center field. Hayden Cart will go back towards the fence, and he lost track of it. It lands down. They will go ahead and send Josh Williams, the speedster, into 3rd. He will be in there sliding with a triple. Another triple. That is the 2nd triple in the series for Josh Williams. Correction, he was not the one with the triple yesterday. I thought he had a triple yesterday. Maybe I'm just imagining it, that there was a triple yesterday. But that is the 2nd triple in this game. Josh Williams has a lot of speed out there on the bag, so he will get a 1-out triple. That'll bring up Noah Marcoux. He is 1 for 3. He'll look at strike 1 there. In the on-deck circle for the Sugar Beets is a pinch hitter. It is Max Trucks. As this one is hit, and that will drive in a run as it gets down into right field. They will go ahead and send Marcoux around to 2nd. The throw will not be in time as Crossy cannot get it. So an RBI a double there by Marcoux. And the Mariners, I guess, might be thinking to head back home here. But still some time left, but 7-1 now. Mariners trailing after the RBI double there by Marcoux. That'll now bring up a pinch hitter in the designated hitter spot. It'll be Max Trucks. After Sharping went 1 for 3 today with a single and a stolen base, he will step in to face Seamer. A left-handed batter going up against the right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. For Trucks yesterday, he was 0 for 2. Drew a couple of walks, though, in his first and then last at-bat. 7-1 now the score. Runner on 2nd is Marcoux. We'll see what Trucks has in his first at-bat. Here comes the first pitch. It'll be ball 1. And one of those days, much like we saw in the first home stretch where the road stretch where the Mariners went 0-4 on the road to begin. This one is hit hard, but He's ahead of that one. As that one goes towards the Mariners bullpen. Count evens up now at 1-1. Mariners started out 0 for 4 on the road, and it looked much of like what we see here today. They couldn't get the base hits. They couldn't drive in any runners they got on base to begin with. And so now they're in danger. Here's a high fly ball going foul into foul territory. R.J. Williams will make the catch. It does stay fair. That will retire the second batter retire the second hitter here today in this one, in the 7th. F8 there is Williams. F7 actually as Williams comes in.
For the Sugar Beets,
Michael Wesley will now come in. He is 2 for 3 with a triple back in the 2nd and a single back in the 4th. Again, he actually attends SVSU, or Saginaw Valley State. Here, the northernmost team just by a little bit over Muskegon, but it's the northernmost team in the Great Lakes Summer League here in Saginaw, just by a little bit though. As this one lowered by the shoes, dug out there nicely by Hayes. 1-0 now the count. Of course, Salina is the southernmost team in the Northern Division, so as this one is tapped here off the foot and foul. 1-1 now the count here to Wesley. So some of these trips up, especially to like places like Saginaw and Muskegon, where they're the two furthest north teams in the division. Muskegon is actually farther as far as the drive is concerned than Saginaw. Muskegon is about 45 minutes farther because you have to go off a little bit west, whereas it's pretty much a straight shot north, maybe just a little bit more east to Saginaw. Here comes a high fly ball into foul territory. Spry giving chase, but it looks like it might just get out of play over the first base dugout. As 1-2 with 2 outs. So a triple with 1 out by Josh Williams set up an RBI double by Noah Marcoux. That is why we are now sitting at 7-1 in this inning. And now Wesley is back in. He is 2 for 3. Grounded out his most recent time up. He'd be possible his first RBI with a hit here, as this one will get away from Hayes. That'll allow the runner to go from 2nd to 3rd in Marcoux. So the 8th run of the day for the Sugar Beets is now just 90 feet away. 2-2 there on the wild pitch. So Seamer will step back on. As now Wesley will step back in to the right-hander's batter's box. Righty-righty matchup here. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Looked like a check swing there, but it does go off his bat towards the backstop. Count will remain now at 2-2. Sugar Beets, if they hold on to win this one, now 7-1 they lead. It would snap a 2-game losing streak and snap a 6-game winning streak, as this one's popped high towards the first base dugout and gets out of play. Count will remain at 2-2. It'll snap a 6-game winning streak for the Mariners. 6-game winning streak that goes all the way back to a doubleheader against Cincinnati. They split that one, winning the 2nd game. Then they swept the Richmond Jazz, swept the Settlers, and then got the first one in the matchup here against the Sugar Beets back at home. As here comes the 2-2 pitch. This one will be foul, tipped towards the screen. 2 outs. 2-2 the count. Runner on 3rd now, which with the RBI double, then he reached 3rd on the wild pitch is Noah Marcoux. Wesley will be trying to drive him in with his 3rd base hit of the day if he can get one, but he's has a 2-2 count here to deal with Seamer. As Seamer will deliver the 2-2 pitch. This will be fouled down, then towards the 3rd base dugout. We'll go again at 2-2. Yet to run into a team that has said that, oh yeah, we play 2 at home and then 2 away, as opposed to a 1 there, 1 back, 1 there, 1 back against the Saginaw Sugar Beets. They're the newest team in the league. They've got 3 home fields that they play on, and because of that, they get accommodated with how they can schedule, when they can reserve the field. Newest team in the league starts pushing that around, As now a 3-2 count. So that one's a ball. Seamer will catch and gather. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. This will be swung and it'll dribble fair, but it'll be off his leg, so it will not matter. As any other team you play with, other than Saginaw, it's 2 there, 2 back, as that's a series. But Saginaw, they have to do things a little bit differently just because of how it works out with when they can reserve their fields. They are saying that they're trying to find a good spot to put a field that will be like the quote-unquote Sugar Beets field. There are a couple other teams that do that as well. A lot of other teams in the league play in high school fields or even some college fields. Some, including Saginaw, does play at a couple of minor league. Saginaw does play for a single-A affiliate of a Major League Baseball team. This one will be a fair ball down the third base line. Diving play there by Myers. Could not get to it. In there with a double. And an RBI double at that. Wesley will get his third base hit of the day. And it'll be an RBI double, his first RBI of the day. And Seamer cannot get out of this inning now with 2 outs. That now pushes the score to 8-1. Mariners' woes continue here on the road. And it looks like they might be back to the early season road game woes. At least they've kept 8 errors off the board thus far, only committing 2. That might have been a little bit of a wake-up call against Lima when they had those 8 errors. They've had a couple of defensive laps, which plays they could have made as this one's high and inside. Ducking and getting out of the way is now Ryan Robinette, who, by the way, is 2 for 3 with a couple of RBIs on 2 different singles. He flew out to left his most recent time up. 1-0 count now to him. He steps in batting right. He looks at a fastball at the knees there. Strike 1. 1-1 now the count. 2 outs. 8-1 now the score. Mariners trailing on the road. Runner at second is Michael Wesley. Seamer checks back before delivering to Robinette. This one is hit into left field, and this one will stay fair. This will more than likely, and it will drive in the run from second. It'll be a double here, as actually, yes, he will come in sliding there, as the throw was not in time. It was also weak. So that'll be the 3rd RBI double of the inning, including back-to-back RBI doubles. And the Mariners cannot get out of this inning. They now trail 9-1. All win streaks do eventually come to an end, and it looks like the Mariners will come to an end here. Again, they'll have 2 more chances at-bats, but this score is just running higher and higher. A man now with 2 for 3 on the day with 3 runs driven in. It was a 2-run homer back in the second, and then an RBI single back in the fourth. Adam Proctor, who then popped out to foul territory. He'll weak tapper here to Jack Coney, who throws it over to first. That will retire the side. But once again, 3 more runs have been put up on the board via 4 total hits. No errors. There was the 1 man left on base. Mariners will now head to the bottom or top of the 8th. They'll try to mount a comeback here, but it seems unlikely. 9-1 to score. 13 hits for the home team, only 3 for the visitors. 2 up for the Mariners. It will be the top of the order in Evan Spry, Blake Crossing, and Chris Myers. There's a new pitcher on the mound. We'll talk about him when we come back. Don't go anywhere. This is Mariners Baseball here on YouTube. So a new pitcher on the mound, and Jordan Williams, a right-hander, steps out for the Sugar Beets, the 3rd right-hander to come out and pitch. Actually, each of the other 2 bullpen guys have only had 2 innings of work. For Adam Kowalski, it was only 1 inning pitched. He did not allow a run, a hit, a walk, and he struck out 2. For Jordan Williams, he now comes out Williams has a 17.28 ERA in his 6th appearance of the year. He's also had 2 starts. A 17.28 ERA in 8 1/3 innings pitched, 10 walks, and 10 strikeouts in 13 walks. He's allowed 1 home run and 4 extra base hits. And we'll now see if the top of this lineup can't get something going. Evan Spry will be due up. He's 0 for 1, but a couple of walks to his name in this one. There's a couple of changes also for the Mariners. See if they can't get something going here.
Coming on to throw for the Sugar Beets. He is a 6'3", 200.
It will be Evan Spry, though, leading off.
A junior at Adrian College.
So now doing the catching
Number 21,
for
Williams.
will be Wesley. Wesley comes out from right field to catch. As now Missile is out in right.
Now batting for the Mariners.
And so,
Spry.
ball 1 there to Spry. Here comes the first pitch to him. This is high. Ball 2. 2-0 now here to Spry. Left-handed batter going up against a right-handed pitcher. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Spry will look. This one will catch the inside of the plate. 2-1. As here comes the pitch. This one missing. 3-1 now outside. Missed. So Wesley now catching. Out and right is Missile. We assume he will go into Adam Proctor's spot. As this will be strike 2 here. 3-2 now to Spry. Full count. See if Spry can do something here. 2 walks already on the day. He'll hit this one past the glove of the diving first baseman there. And that'll be a leadoff single. His first base hit of the day. He'll now go to 1-2 on the game. I'll now bring up Blake Crossing, a man 0 for 3. He will now turn around and bat. Actually, correction. Blake Crossing's day is done. They'll bring up now number 7, Van Acker. A little bit of a surprise here that they would replace Crossing, but he is 0 for 3 on the day. But he usually bats a little bit better from the left side of the plate than he does from the right. Acker will look at ball 1 there, low, 1-0. For Acker, he enters this day hitting a 143 with a 226 on base percentage. As this one outside, ball 2. Acker yesterday did not make an appearance at all. He'll now be batting in the 2 hole. See what he can do now. 42 appearances for his college, which is Alma College. Outside, ball 3. Van Acker having a patient at bat here. And now has a 3-0 count. See if he won't get something to swing at. If he likes it, otherwise he could take all the way. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. He does take all the way. Outside, 3-1. Acker for Alma College had 42 appearances. He hit 284 with a 307 on base percentage, 6 stolen bases, and 16 doubles. He chops this one. Don't know if he got a piece of it. I think he did. It went off of Wesley's face mask. Count now full at 3-2. So Van Acker now pinch hitting for Blake Crossing, whose day ended at 0 for 3. Perhaps just a chance to get guys some at-bats as this one's popped high towards the first base dugout. It will stay in play. Wesley will make the catch. That will retire the first batter here. 1 out. Runner on first, and Evan Spry brings up Chris Myers, number 40.
The designated hitter, number 40, Chris Myers.
Last time out, he lined into the glove of the first baseman, right to him. It was a low liner, but it went right to him. He was able to make the catch. He is 1 for 3 on the day with a single back in the first. We'll see if he can keep this inning going now. So he gets his first pitch, low and inside, ball 1. 9-1 the score. Mariners do have 4 hits now. We're accustomed to seeing a little bit more hitting from the Mariners as Myers is going to hit this one back towards the screen. Count now runs 1-1. Here in the top of the 8th, Mariners have 2 more chances here. 5 more outs to try to mount some comeback here, maybe even just play for pride at this point, as this one is a strike on the corner there. 1-2 now the count. Myers bats left against the righty, as this one is hit high but not very deep. Going foul. Running over is the third baseman, but it will drop in safely. Josh Williams could not get to that one either. So the count will remain at 1-2. Runner on first, and Evan Spry. We'll see if they decide to run with him trailing down. Maybe just experiment a little, see who you feel comfortable running. Test Wesley's arm there behind the plate now. But again, if he was playing the outfield, you got to imagine he's got a stronger arm anyway. Runner goes on first movement, cut on and missed, and they will allow there for Spry to get in there. See how they rule. It could be defensive indecision, but down swinging goes Myers. There's now 2 away. Pinch hitter now for Jake McCall. It'll be number 37, Mackenzie Hicks.
Now for the Grand Lake Mariners, a sophomore at Troy University, number 37, Mackenzie Hicks.
He now steps in. Myers' day ends. Correction, McCall's day ends. 1 for 2. Strike 1 here. As Hicks steps in, batting right. Comes the delivery to him. Low, ball 1. Hicks, the 4th batter here to face now Williams on the mound. Williams looks back to second where Spry resides. Here comes the delivery to Hicks. Hicks will cut through and miss. Now he's down to the count, 1-2. 9-1 the score. Mariners trailing here on the road. Just a look ahead at the schedule, tomorrow and then Wednesday, July 4th, the Mariners will be hosting the Muskegon Clippers for 2 before hitting the road again and heading off to our neighbors to the north, as this is ball 2-2-2. Just across the border, St. Clair down up in Windsor, Ontario. Canada, of course. Be there for 2. That'll be games 3 and 4 against the Green Giants. They swept the Giants previously. As swinging and missing, down goes swinging will be Mackenzie Hicks. Second strikeout here for Williams, and that will retire the side. That'll be 3 and 4. As again, the Mariners have swept the Green Giants at home earlier this season. They are now 2-0 against them, and they're in danger of falling to 1-1 now against the Sugar Beets. We will now head to the bottom of this inning here in the 8th. Don't go anywhere. Mariners trailing 9-1. So here are the defensive changes for the Mariners. Out now in left field, and for the first time playing the field this year, it'll be Stephen Fitzsimmons. He replaces R.J. Williams out there in left. Mackenzie Hicks takes over at third. Jack Coney was moved from second to shortstop, and now playing second will be Van Acker. New pitcher on the mound as well. It'll be Max Gray after Tommy Seymour just went the 1 inning. He allowed a total of 3 runs on 4 hits.
Now on the hill to throw,
he didn't walk anybody. Fortunately, he didn't strike anybody out either, and both those runs were earned. Max Gray now on the mound, wearing number 9, right-handed pitcher, standing at 5'11" from Indianapolis, Indiana, as Tennessee Wesleyan. On the season, this will be his 4th appearance. He has a 9 ERA and 3 innings pitched. There'll be 1 inning here of work for him unless a miracle comeback happens in the top of the 9th. As this is ball 1 thrown. Gray has struck out 4 and only walked 1 in his 3 innings of work thus far this season. Here comes a high pop back. Hayes thinks it might be, but then decides it's going to go out of play, and it does. So 1-1 now the count. Here in the bottom of the 8th, Mariners trailing 9-1. Looks like they're going to go home with a split series so far. Again, we'll play the Saginaw Sugar Beets 2 more times this year. Be the 4th and 3rd to last games on the schedule, I do believe. It'll be again another 1 home, 1 here kind of situation. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Checked his swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. No doubt about it. And so that'll get the first strikeout of the day for Gray. It'll be the first batter he faces in Daniel Page. Then I'll bring up a new guy, a pinch hitter. It'll be number 16, Matthew Sulkanen. So Brady Wood's done.
Number 16, Matthew Sulkanen.
Matthew Sulkanen now a pinch hitter. As he fouls off the first pitch out of play. He comes in. Brady's Wood's day ends with no base hits. He grounded out to short, reached on an error, got an RBI though on that play, and struck out looking. So Sulkanen went out. He is a Saginaw, Michigan native. He looks there at a fastball at the knees in the corner there, strike 2. He's now down to the count 0-2. Here comes the next pitch. This one is hit. It will be caught there, though, by shortstop now, Jack Coney. As it got past the glove of Max Gray. Backed up there nicely, though, by Coney. That'll now bring up Cooper Marshall, number 24. Again, the man from Traverse City, Michigan. Western Michigan University attendee, the Broncos there, where he had 25 appearances, 14 starts, hit .244 with 10 RBIs, and a .370 on-base percentage. This one will be tapped weakly here. Coming in will be Coney, makes the play, throws it over to first. In time, they go in order here for the 3rd time today for the Sugar Beets. That was a 6-3. Nothing occurred in this inning. We will now head to the top of the 9th and possible last frame of play. 9-1 the score. We'll see if they have another 9th inning comeback in them. This one now 9-1. Mariners due up. Now it will be, if they all hold, Jaron Lovely, Tyson Hayes, and Hayden Cart. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So we head to the top of the ninth. It could be the last inning of play. 9-1 the score. Sugar Beets on top here in their home territory. Mariners will be going up against the new pitcher on the mound, and Billy Blair. A couple defensive changes to let you know as well. For Blair, by the way, he enters with a 1-2 record. This is eighth appearance on the year. 3 starts also. A 9.81 ERA, 13 1/3 innings pitched, struck out 7, walked 6, allowed 2 extra base hits. He also has 1 save. This is not a save situation. Sulkinen moves in to first base now. Marcoux has been moved to right, and now Missile is in center. Those are the defensive changes to get you up on. Jaron Lovely, Tyson Hayes, and Hayden Cart due up. Actually, it'll be Stephen Fitzsimmons now batting in Jaron Lovely's spot. Number 11. You'll look at ball 2 there. Now the count 2-0. Fitzsimmons yesterday played the DH spot. For him yesterday, he was 1 for 2, had a sacrifice RBI in the second, a single, a walk, and then popped out to second his last time up. 3-0 now here. Fitzsimmons. Again, batting left. It is Tyson Hayes on the on-deck circle for the Mariners. 3-0 pitch now here to Fitzsimmons. He will look. It'll be ball 4. He'll be walked on 4 straight pitches. So the Mariners get their leadoff base runner aboard. That'll bring up Tyson Hayes, the catcher, number 16. A man who is 1 for 3 on the day with a single back in the 4th. Other than that, he's flown out head of the outfield a couple times up. He will step in. He bats right against the righty Billy Blair. Blair will gather at the waist. He's got a runner at first to deal with. This will be just a little bit missing inside. Ball 1. We're about 2 hours and 20 minutes into play here. Mariners trailing here in the top of the 9th, 9-1. Runner on first and Fitzsimmons, as this is a miss there on the inside. 2-0. Was an off-speed pitch there to Hayes. He did not chase. Throw back to first. Wasn't a hard throw. It was just kind of a soft float over just to keep Fitzsimmons on the bag. Count will hold at 2-0 now with nobody out. Hayes the batter. Here comes the pitch on the 2-0. Goes now 3-0 as this one misses high. And now we're going to have Westley head out to the mound to have a conversation with his pitcher in Blair. Just the two of them having a conversation now. A little bit of maybe a cross-up on the signs. Discuss how to get to Hayes now as they have a 3-0 count to him. The meeting is over. He will return to his position behind the plate, and we shall begin anew. Blair will step back on. Fitzsimmons will take his lead. Got a decent lead, pretty standard one, as this will be catching the inside part of the plate there on the corner at the waist. Strike 1, 3-1 now the count here to Hayes. Here comes the gather at the waist. Fitzsimmons stays put. Hayes will pop this one high. Not very deep, though. Looks like it'll stay just on the edge of the outfield grass. Coming over will be the second baseman in Robinette, and that will retire the first batter. 2 outs left for the Mariners. Hayden Cart will now step in.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 44.
He is 0 for 2 with a walk back in the second. He's center fielder, one of the very few Mariners not to be replaced here at the top of this order. We've had three substitutions in the first 5 batters. As now Cart will step in. Struck out looking in the 4th. Here comes the first pitch to him. It's outside, ball 1. 1 out. Runner on first and Fitzsimmons. We'll see if they decide to run with him. Fitzsimmons has 1 stolen base. They haven't been very aggressive on the bases here for the Mariners, something they talked about doing. And when they've been aggressive, it's usually worked, but lately they've been caught more than they've been successful, so they've kind of backed off that aggression. Cart looks at ball 2. Now the count goes 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 gather and delivery. Cart will pop this one high. It'll go back, and Wesley will watch it just go out of play past the screen. Thought he might have had a chance, but he got all the way to the wall before he realized he would just have to give up on that one. Does look like Jack Coney will be in the on-deck circle after Cart. 9-1 the score. Cart will step back in. He bats right. It is a right-handed pitcher in Flair. If this result were to hold up, as Cart will tap this one weakly, over to second for one, back to first. They will call him out. It looked like a close play at the bag, but perhaps the umpire's hot and he just wants to get out of here, so that will close the game there as Cart grounds into a 4-6-3 double play. It was actually 1-6-3. And so the day is over for the Mariners. Their 6-game winning streak is snapped here on the road against the Sugar Beets. They will fall half a game back from the Lima Locos, and the Saginaw Sugar Beets will climb back within a half a game of them here today. They split the first part of this series 1-1. Final score was 9-1. The winning pitcher on the day is going to be Matthew Blunk. The losing pitcher will be Joshua Riggs. Riggs falls to now 1-3 on the year. For Blunk, it will be his third win. He's now 3-1. That will end the day here. The Mariners will head home with another loss in their pocket. They are now 12-8 on the season. 13-10 are the Sugar Beets thus far. That will just about conclude my broadcast for this evening, but before I go, I'd just like to thank anybody and everybody out there for listening. I'd like to thank all the host families. I'd like to thank the entire Mariners staff for allowing me to broadcast their games. We'll be back again tomorrow, 7:05, first pitch, roughly around there. I'll go on live about 5 to 10 minutes before. Here on YouTube, I'll have the coverage for that one. They will host the Muskegon Clippers for 2. I would like to thank you guys for listening. Again, the final score here is 9-1. Sugar Beets win this one. Thank you all for listening. Have a great day, and go Mariners.